All right, welcome to the Black Pony Amateur League. Tonight we are going to have Worst Behavior taking on Viral Gaming, two of the winning teams out of our first round of our Season 1 of the Black Pony Amateur League. You've got Reload here with Kenya, and this is going to be one that we're really looking forward to. Worst Behavior, interesting first matchup. They were kind of our debut here, and they came out hot with a dominant hardpoint. Dominant hardpoint, dropping wardens. I mean, it was pretty impressive. And then carried that momentum into an S&D where I believe they went up 4-0 before losing the S&D to Fatal. So lost their S&D, came back, won the uplink, and in turn the matchup. But really interesting kind of lack of closing there on the middle round. So we're going to look to see if they improve their S&D. Viral, on the other hand, our team who pretty much walked through last season, only ever losing one matchup, and a close one at that. And in their first matchup, they go into a Game 3 as well, where they have to fight from behind after the first hard point, and then they barely get through the S&D into a round 11, and then end up taking the uplink to take it home as well. So, definitely two interesting stories here, and this is one that we're really going to look forward to. On the side of Viral Gaming, Mortal really had kind of been carrying them, put up some pretty big stats. I believe he had like a 30 and 20 or something on the hard point, so a really strong game there, and then he was 10 and 6 in their S&D. Now, players to keep an eye for on Worst Behavior, Metallifreak dropped the Warden in the first one of the year, and also a 27 and 6 hardpoint. So we're going to be watching out for Metallifreak as well. But what are your first impressions here? What are we going to look for?
It's going to be tough. I'm already calling a map 3 for this matchup here. I'm excited to see what Worst Behavior is going to do in the hardpoint. They look strong in their first one, and I'm excited to see if Viral's got a challenge for that. Honestly, early predictions here. I think you're going to see a very close hardpoint that goes to Worst Behavior. S&D. I feel like Worst Behavior need to redeem themselves, and Viral's always been a good team at S&D, and then uplink. Who knows? So it's going to be a close one, I think.
All right, well, we are going to have a throwback hardpoint, as you can see, followed by a retaliation S&D, and then if it comes to it, a precinct uplink. So we'll go ahead and get started whenever you're ready, and we will see how the rig draft goes here. This is, for this throwback S&D, this is one where I wouldn't mind seeing a Centurion over an Overdrive. Looks like Overdrive and Centurion, so they left out, they got the active and reactive. They left out FTL jump, which is, yeah, so I don't have a problem with that. On the side, looks like they're going to use the FTL over the Overdrive on the side of Viral. So, yeah, nothing too crazy there. As long as you have a reactive and an active, it doesn't really matter. On retaliation, I'm a fan of the Overdrive, so you can get across the map faster. But, the nice thing about the Centurion on this is that you've got that, underpass hardpoint, you've got the barn hardpoint, you got the baseball hardpoint, all areas where a Centurion can do some work. Even recently, you've seen people bringing out the Claw, which I don't hate. If you've got a big Slayer, I don't hate the Claw especially to try and break like a barn. Basically everyone else in your team needs to clear out of the way before you use it, but I don't hate it. What are your thoughts?
Would really like to see the 7-man destruction with the Claw, honestly. Just one guy left standing in the hardpoint.
If you unleashed a Claw in the barn hardpoint, although I guess there's no ricochet bullets in CWO rules, but if you unleashed a Claw in the barn hardpoint, you're killing everybody in the room.
Absolutely.
I mean, including your teammates. So, this is also the nice thing about this hardpoint is I think you can see a few more subs maybe make it into play. I would actually hope each team has an ERAD if they have anyone who's good with it. Maybe a MacTav if that's your preference. But, it does get away from the all AR meta that we've been seeing. So as we're loading in here.
I think subs are definitely a little more viable on this map as opposed to something like retaliation, a little more close quarter. it all depends. You do have some long lines of sight, so you kind of need to even it out on the team. But we'll see what happens. I like to see some good sub play.
K-bar, NV4, K-bar, and K-bar. For Viral's going with all ARs. Looks like the same thing for worst behavior. So both worst behavior and Viral running all AR setups. We're not going to see any subs yet, but we'll see whether that changes. You know, this first hill, one that I don't expect to see a lot of time. I really don't expect to see a whole lot of time on the hill for this first one, but we'll see how everything ends up as we go in. Early Slain is going to come through. Good setup here on the side of, coming in on the flank here for worst behavior, so definitely good there.
I think,
then as
you know, worst behavior had a good setup here. I mean, if you get 3 or 4 down immediately, I wouldn't mind seeing you grab some good time in this first hill, even though you get a lot of contests. I mean, if you get a few down, you can definitely get some good time.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see whether that happens. Looks like kind of the even split right now. You know, Viral taking a few more points here, but nothing terribly crazy. Jumping out to about a 10-second lead. Challenges coming in from worst behavior. And, you know, this isn't not a half bad start for Viral. You know, I would take, with the ground slam from Metallifree getting the kill.
Yeah.
As we move on to Malo here, transitioning, he's going to hold up the spawn for Viral. You know, he's back in this lime area here, and he's getting some kills and keeping spawns for Viral on the kind of the good spawn that you want here. He's going to be spawning out worst behavior into baseball. That's, you know, that's a great job of kind of playing as an anchor right there if you look at what he's doing. So we're going to stay with him a little bit. And it looks like as Slain is coming in, we're going to move over to Mortal, who falls, and then worst behavior gets the break. They've got 3 in the hill, finally making up some of that time. About a 10-second lead from the side of Viral. Erad is out for Fancy Pup. We are on with him right now. He's about to run to about 3 Viral players, so he gets cut down, and we leave it with Viper.
Out.
Yeah, Viral gets the counter break. They should be moving into the hill shortly, but it looks to me like worst behavior still has the spawns. So worst behavior keeps the spawns, and they just break immediately back.
They do. Viral didn't, once they pushed into the hard point, they didn't push far enough past it, so they ended up, you know, giving up those good spawns.
Yeah, so it looks like scrap time went to worst behavior there. They're actually going to take about a 10-second lead as we move into this underpass hill here. And, you know, early time again going to Viral. Looks like they're going to fall, though. Break for worst behavior. And we're going to have some Slain here as they try and push out. Still a really close matchup so far. You know, Fancy Pup going with an 8 and 4 as well as Whopper with 7 and 3. But, you know, no one really putting up huge Slain numbers yet. Malo and Glocks, I'm sorry, Malo's the only positive one right now for Viral, even though it's only a 5-second differential. So looks like worst behavior winning the Slain battle, even though it's a close hardpoint matchup here.
Yeah, I want to point out on this one hill right here, if you go in with a good like 3 or 4 streak, you can get your score streaks really fast, only because of the amount of contests you get and the amount of times your team can capture the hill. I mean, you can capture the hill 3 times in about 3 seconds and get tons of points, and that's where you really build up your streaks. I don't think anybody did it right there, but if you're gonna get some, that's gonna be the place to get it without going on a huge kill streak.
Absolutely. And then, you know, now as we move into baseball, worst behavior already set up. They win the initial gunfights, and they're going to rack up some serious time here. Fights going in now. Metallifree's still the last one alive. Looks to see if they can clean him out before one of them. He will fall, and Viral's going to take baseball. You know, that was a good setup there for worst behavior, and Viral actually broke that one without a whole lot of resistance. So, you know, worst behavior's
right back,
still with the lead, though. They're right back. They take it back, and it's going to come to these. It doesn't look like either team really is taking a strong possession of it. It looks like, you know, the spawns are going for worst behavior, though, as they spawn back into. And here we go. So they're spawning by that kind of bike path underpass there, so they've got the spawns to keep this hill. I mean, they're getting about a 40-second lead now as we move towards the end of the first rotation here. And I mean, that's a pretty good first round, especially against Viral Gaming. You know, that's a strong team. So when you start with a 40-point lead against them, you have to feel pretty good about it. And worst behavior now with, gosh, about a 50-second lead. I'm on now with Metallifreak working.
This platform hardpoint, I'm going to go against everything we usually say. I don't mind a late rotation, only because it's so open. You really don't have to rotate early unless you're going to have like a 4-man setup to try to, hold off the other team, just because of, the easy contest you can get on this one. So I mean, this one is one of the few in the whole game where you can kind of rotate late and just get all that scrap time from baseball.
Yeah, and I mean, initially the scrap time was going to Viral for the first few hard points here, but now Viral's got to make an early move into the barn and try and lock that down as the train platform ends. And worst behavior
is already set up here, so they're looking
what, a 70-second lead now, so they're pretty good. Now Viral, it does look like is spawning at Lime, so that could, well, no, then they all die. Glock's the last one there, so now they're going to be spawning at Baseball. Worst behavior with almost a 100-second lead and the spawns. This could be dangerous if you're Viral Gaming. Let's move on here
Viral
to...
Gaming right now. Viral Gaming right now, not only do they need to push into this hard point and win it, they need to push through, and they kind of just need to do this full wrap around the map in order to kind of just keep on rotating for the next one. I mean, they've made some good pushes, but they haven't had a lot of opportunity to get early rotations, and that's going to really hurt them if they want to expect to get back in this one.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here trying to think about what Viral can do to get back into it, and as it usually does, it does a lot of times come into Slain, and I think, unfortunately, the man that I see standing out here is our guy Warrior, who typically one of the strongest players on their team. I would probably call him their team MVP last time, and -5 is not an atrocious game, but it's not what you need from one of your biggest slayers in order to win hardpoint, especially on throwback.
You're exactly right, and if I'm not mistaken, he is running kinetic also, so if you're going to be the kinetic guy, you definitely have to have a big game to get that. So
yeah, we're on with Fancy Pup now, who has his camo. We'll see when he decides to use that. I wouldn't expect to see it for the underpass hill, but that probably is one you want to save for Baseball if you can. Now, if you're Viral, of course, you probably use every streak you can have, because you need to try and get, if you really need to try and make up some points. They've got about a 100-second disadvantage here, and they have not locked down this underpass hardpoint.
Camo used.
Fancy Pup burning.
Fancy Pup gets a double piece, and he
I'll say I don't hate it. When you're kind of a one-man break right there, I would have rather seen him use it for Baseball, but with a 100-second lead, you kind of have the flexibility to do that if you want. Let's move on with Whopper here, who is quietly having a great game. Also, I don't know what happened over that last hard point, but he went from having a good game to double positive with 22 and 11, and he's actually holding down Baseball. Now he's basically doing this by himself right now. He's just taking out Viral players left and right. So if you had asked me before, I would have said Viral takes this one in a close matchup, and right now, I mean, worst behavior really running away with it and almost at the 200 point against Viral Gaming.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, I would have expected more from Warrior in the beginning, and I mean, Metallifreak's only -1, but I would have expected a little bit more from him right now. Just on the positive side of the kill death. But I mean, Fancy Pup has really picked it up here, and so is Whopper Mage. So I think that's the difference. I mean, Viral hasn't had anybody that really stepped up in place of Mortal or Warrior, so that's why they're losing this so bad.
Yeah, and I mean, Fancy Pup now just working this middle hard point and pushing all the way through. He's going to start trying to cut down Viral players as they spawn, and they don't even realize he's there. He should get at least one, maybe two. He falls. Now, Viral does have a couple of streaks here to work with. Let's see, Glocks does have an FTL. That's not going to be much help. And Malo has that Centurion, which could, if they can make it to Barn, you drop Centurion in Barn, and I think that would be a pretty effective one, but he really needs a lot here. They
need to use it someplace where they can get 50 seconds or more.
Yeah, you get this one. When you're down in the 228, I mean, it's almost over, because you got to think about scrap time. You can't give up even 5 seconds of scrap time on these hills. So Viral really needs a miracle here to come back in this one.
Yeah, Viral's just gonna have to outslay, for the next, well, I'm gonna say minute and 10 seconds, but for the rest of the game, they just need to outslay big time, and they just need to keep on moving around the map with those early rotations. They've been trying, they just been getting outslayed. So I mean, there's no fault in their gameplay. It's just their slaying is not up to par right now.
Yeah, and worse behavior with not only a Centurion, but the Kinetic when they want to use that as well. I think this one's, they're about to shut the door on them right now. So
Yes,
as it comes in, this game is over, and worse behavior takes down Viral 250 to 80. Wow. Wow. I mean, this, one of our strongest hardpoint teams, and I mean, that's a dominant performance.
It really is, and you know, I expected worse behavior to do well at the hard point based on what we've seen, you know, them do last time. I did not expect it to be that lopsided of a victory.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all right, well, let's go through the stats here. Still a little bit in shock. I wouldn't say I'm totally shocked that worst behavior won. I knew they were going to play this well, but the margin that they won by is just incredibly impressive here. You know, let's take a look at Fancy Pup, who whipped out the ERAD halfway through, and I think towards the end went back to a K-bar. 30 and 18 with no streaks. I mean, this is not like the
We said
Warden came
retaliation,
in.
right?
Yes, that is going to be a retaliation S&D. Fancy comes in 30 and 18, 2 minutes of hill time and 7 defends. This isn't like your Slayer who, you know, spent all his time outside of the hill. I mean, this is a guy who was working in the hill going 30 and 18, the entire side of worst behavior. Check out their hill time. 1 minute and 57, 1 minute and 53, 2 minutes and 12 for Viper there. The only one not with, you know, incredible hill time is Whopper, who's, you know, one of the people who's pushing out and trying to hold spawns there.
Oh, you can absolutely tell. I mean, he didn't have any defends either, so he was definitely the lead man. As soon as the hard point was taken, he was out front, you know, trying to get those kills, and his stat line, you know, at almost double positive shows that. But like I said, you know, viral tried to make rotations. You know, they had a good strategy. But they just got outslayed in the hard point, and you know, there were several times where it was 3 down for them. 3 down or 4 down for them in the same hard point, and then you're just not going to win that way.
Well, we're seeing a pattern for worse behavior here. Will they live up to their reputation of dominant hard points followed by inability to close on S&D?
If they go up 3-0 and somehow lose, they're going to have a strong talking to from me about their S&D game.
Yeah, I think they might be the team that needs the S&D coach. I think there was actually kind of a joke going on earlier that they were the LG of the league, who has that same tendency to to kind of win the hard points or win the respawns and then kind of fall apart in the S&Ds. So
I will say they were owning that. They were owning that before the match, so they understand. So we'll see if they can change it around here a little bit in this S&D. I guess waiting on Glock and Whopper Mage to hopefully get on teams here.
Let's see here. Yeah, Glock and Whopper getting messages from the teams here, so we'll see if anyone's having any connection issues as we
yes, please
jump
let me know.
in. Let's see here.
A lot of good talk in the chat tonight, by the way, guys. A lot of good talk.
Yeah, so no connection issues here, and looks like as soon as they color in, they are good to go. Still waiting on Viral here. Color up, boys. That's our cue. So, but I mean, all right, well, while we're waiting on them to color up, let's talk a little bit about retaliation. Retaliation S&D, what do we want to look for? You're kind of our strategist slash big picture guy. I'm going to be interested to hear this one.
You have to send someone to the mid-hall. I mean, there's no question. Like, mid-hall is such a crucial flanking point that you have to have somebody there to watch it. Even if they fall, they can call out the guy coming through mid. As far as bomb preference goes, I like B personally because it's easier to defend, but at the same time, it's almost easier to overtake because you have more spots you can pop out of. You can come out top bar, you can come out, you know, the top window, you can come out a bike downstairs. A's never been a fan of. I've never been a fan of playing at A unless we have to, but a lot of teams do better at A because they have that 1 or 2 long lines of sight. You get someone watching back graves for the flank, you get someone watching over the bridge, and it's really hard to defuse before that time runs out. So it's all going to depend on what sites these guys choose to play at, and to me it's all going to be about mid-map control in this game.
All right, so mid-map control as well as the sights. Yeah, I mean, it's two very different bomb sites here in terms of the guns you can use to defend them. So we'll see how they start out here. I'm also going to hope that somebody picks up grenades for the car bomb, because that's my favorite thing to do on this map. So, of course, we're going to have reactive and camo coming in for both teams, going with an overdrive on the side of worst behavior. I like it, Viper. I'm a fan of the overdrive, FTL jump for both teams, and overdrive for El Malo. So 2 overdrives. There's not going to be a Centurion, which I don't disagree with in S&D.
I don't mind Centurion on this one because really.
Did you get an update? Well, yes. I guess we will have to put this on hold a little bit while we all get an update.
Thank you, Infinity Ward. Appreciate that. I'm just not a big fan of overdrive and S&D on this one.
I do like overdrive, but I'll start with the Centurion and why I don't think it's any good. It's a one-trick pony. You know, you can't use it. One, you can't really use it well on defense. I know we had one match where I did, but for the most part, it's an offensive. I'm sorry, you can't use it well on offense. It's a defensive weapon. You set it by a bomb site, and they kind of have to get rid of it before they can plant. So it's only good on offense anyway. I'm sorry, it's no good on offense anyway. And then my thing with overdrive is I think it has 2 uses. One, I get a lot of kills with overdrive on power flanks. If anyone was watching our game battles the other night, I was playing one where I started off, I got 2 overdrives and had 2 first bloods. One of them was a double first blood, basically on retaliation by overdriving all the way around A and coming out of broken behind the other team. So I am a fan of overdrive. The other use for it for me that isn't as good, but I still do like it, is when you're in like a 2v1 or 3v1, if you get 1 kill, you can then overdrive out of the area before they get a chance to trade you. So I like overdrive a lot better. But it's definitely personal preference. I think some people like Centurion only because you can use the perk that's the built-in trophy system. So maybe that's why people use Centurions, just for that side perk. I would expect a lot of MV4s and K-bars here. We've got 3 K-bars for viral. Oh, we're gonna start with Whopper then. Whopper, let's do it, buddy.
with the early taunt too.
I haven't seen that yet. That's a new taunt for me. So.
Yep, there you go. I expect Whopper to do something with the sniper, or he's going to have to change that taunt.
Yeah, not allowed to use that taunt if you don't get a blood with the sniper.
Yep, that's a fact.
No early look with the sniper rifle and moving indoors, which is never a smart idea with the sniper rifle. So first blood
2 down early for viral.
2 down, yeah, very early. So still no snipes coming in. We're actually going to jump off of Whopper now, and we're going to, well, as we do, he gets the kill, and it is down to a 3v1. El Malo, the only one left. Moving through, I think he might, if he sees him, he's going to come up behind some worse behavior players here. Look to your left. Look to your left. You had 2 of them. He had 2 of them. All right, well, he's not going to get this one, so he's now running around. I think in a 3v1, you've got to at least get 1 before you...
Oh, he hasn't been seen.
Plant. Does get 1, they know where he is, and they know that he's hurt. So we'll see if he's able to pick up the other 2 right now. Not a lot of time to work with. I mean, only 30 seconds.
No.
Isn't able to clutch up the 3v1.
Almost.
Almost did, though. Almost did.
If he'd have got that second kill, it would have been 1v1. If he'd have got this guy right here, the other guy would have been one-shot and been really, really close.
First round going to worst behavior. Off basically early first bloods. You know, I like this stat. I've heard it more than once now. If you get first blood and live through it and you're not traded, you win 80% of S&Ds. So that goes to show you guys how big first blood can be. And how big, equally important is not getting blooded. I think you see a lot of times teams lose because there's one guy who's constantly falling early. So
I like this A stack that Viral's going with, even though I just said I wasn't a fan of A. If you're going to stack a bomb, A's the one to do it.
Yeah, I'm on with Metallifreak now. He's going to see a viral player crossing, and that should be one at least picked up. And then he's there actually to save Whopper, although Whopper still goes down anyway. So we'll see if trades do come in there. Metallifreak getting out of harm's way. Actually, good job getting out of there. We'll see. Oh my god, and he just snaps on Warrior right there. Metallic
Oh,
doing it all by
Metallic.
himself. And he falls down to Mortal and Fancy here. Mortal does get one. We'll see. Oh, and
Ooh.
Mortal clutches up with the double kill and enough time for the defuse. Wow. I mean, that was basically Mortal versus Metallic. Pretty much. That entire round was the two of them going at it. So Viral does tie it up at 1-1 now. And I mean,
You know, the only problem I had with that was the Viral A-bomb push was really good. They pushed a little too far past A, in my opinion, and a few of them got picked off from behind. I really liked the A push, but pushing the orange bus with too many people is going to be a bad result.
yeah, and the grenade kill coming in to start off early for Mortal. We are on with him, showing Viral a little bit of love here on the stream. Picking up another one. He's only 75 away from his Hellstorm. See if he's able to pick it up and finish this off. But he needs to definitely play his life as we move on to Warrior now, putting down the bomb, and Whopper Mage, the only one left alive, trying to pick up what he can in this 3v1. We'll see. Going under, I mean, 30 seconds to pick up 3 kills and a defuse. Whopper here, not looking good for him.
It's definitely not. Immortal here. If Mortal gets his camo in this round or the next one, which he definitely should, I'm thinking about using it early because, I mean, it's only going to be round 3 or 4, so you got plenty of time to get another one. Especially if they
Mortal
go
here not even playing it. You know, interesting, Mortal here actually goes off the back of the map, and I'll bet you I know why. Because he's 75 away from that Hellstorm, and they're going to wait. They're going to try and let him get either a pick or a bomb plant or something to give him that Hellstorm missile, because that is a game changer, or the Trinity rocket, whatever they call it now in this game. So let's move on. We're going to start with Mortal again here, showing a lot of love to Mortal in the stream, but we want to see if he gets this Trinity rocket. We'll be switching off of him if he falls. So Fancy Pup carrying the bomb for worst behavior, and
Fancy Pup's going to run into half the team here.
early trades go. Looks like with 1 and 1, so it's 3v3. No one with an advantage yet. Mortal holding down that back market area. I mean, yeah, I understand playing his life.
Putting up a very good fighting bike right now.
We
nice
will stay on.
Stay
He just had Viral guy jump on top of him, didn't even realize it. He goes down. Let's go to El Malo here, who's going to be kind of taking some heavy fire from worst behavior. And then Whopper again finds himself in a familiar scenario as the 1v3 ends up, kind of ends up with that 1v3 trying to take on the rest of the team. So we'll see here. He's going to get one. It looks like no, he's not.
No,
he will fall. Viral goes 3-1. No action from Mortal yet, so no camo and no Hellstorm. If I'm them, I'm giving Mortal the bomb, letting him quick plant, getting camo, getting a Trinity, and taking a heck of an advantage there.
If I'm worst behavior right here, the thing they need to change is they've had 1 or 2 guys go off in their own direction each time, and that's just killing them. They keep getting first blooded, and it's bad. They need to stick together a little bit better, decide where they want to go, and if they go down 4-1, it's going to be a tough comeback for them.
Yeah, no, there's definitely no doubt. And, one of the things is, it's kind of a debate on whether you want to stay together or send somebody spread out or send somebody as kind of the lone rider. In my opinion, the only way you send somebody out on their own like that is if you know that it's an area where they're not going to get picked. So Mortal does get his Trinity, and only 25... Oh my god, he streaked out. He's got the Bombardment, the Scorchers, and the Trinity, and camo. This is not good for worst behavior, and surprise, surprise, Whopper finds himself in a 3-on-1 for the 3rd straight round. I think... it's really tough to say exactly what's going on, because it's only, basically they're getting outslayed here. But to me, I think what's happening is... I think worst behavior is running into a lot of 2v1s from what I'm seeing. It's not a lot of 1v1 gunfights. There are some, and yeah, worst behavior has been losing a lot of the 1v1s. But to me, more telling is that it seems like whenever you see a worst behavior guy under fire, it's 2 Viral players there. So whenever you're playing 2v1s like that, you're never going to really end up too much on top of,
Well, the difference is Viral, if they push out, they have 2 guys pushing out together, so they can easily trade. If worst behavior pushes out, it's only 1 guy, and they keep getting first blooded. And, This time they're not making that same mistake, but that's what's killed them in the early rounds is the getting first blooded with the one
Now
guy pushing out the scaffolding or something.
this is actually a strong A setup. Look at the positioning on your mini-map there when you check out. Now, of course, Mortal's going to break that pretty easily with his Trinity Rocket, but that was a pretty textbook setup for an A defense. That was pretty impressive. They went with the quick plant right away, and Mortal
Whopper Mage
picking up
again.
even. Whopper Mage finds himself for the 4th straight map in the disadvantage, but this is a 2v1. It's beatable. He's got time. Of course, he won't, and Mortal will. Looks like they both got their streaks. There's no. Doesn't matter who takes it. So Glocks is going to take it and get himself a little bit closer to that Scarab. Shout out to Mortal for not using the Scarab. I just don't think. I think it's kind of garbage. I do still use it because I just don't see a lot of bombardments really. But I mean, electing not to use the Scarab and getting streaked out, pretty impressive here. So Viral 5-1 now, up against worst behavior, and I feel like I'm
The coach.
getting
The coach
deja
is
vu
coming.
here.
The coach is the coach needs to be
The
there.
S&D coach is going to be hired. Kenya will be sending out recommendations for an S&D coach. I believe we'll see if they work on that with their next one. But 5-1
I
still
will
not
say
over
that
yet.
With my schedule, I'm a bit free, but I am expensive, so they can consider that.
All right. Well, I mean, Mortal 9-1 right now. Just
First blooded again. I want to
Whopper
say
Mage this time. Whopper Mage, you know what? I'm tired of being 3v1. I'm going to go be aggressive, and I'm either going to die or pick someone off. So, yeah, I'm
believe
okay with it.
5 maps in a row they got first blooded.
Something like
Fancy
that.
fuck.
And Warrior now the only one left alive. Bomb is down. Going to have to move a little bit here. Gets one. It's going to be a 1v1 now. Finishes him off. Doesn't even matter. I mean, Mortal. And Warrior finishing it off. I mean, but
This is not an
both
insult
of
to
them.
them. I've never seen a team be so solid at slaying and hardpoint, and the slaying just stops for S&D. It just stops.
Well, you know, I think what you may be seeing is sometimes you see heavy slaying teams try and rely on slaying in S&D. And obviously, you know, that doesn't really work too much unless you're
Are we serious?
Optic Gaming. Playlist update. All right. Well, that looks like it already happened, so we're going to have to load everyone back into the game now. At least we got that done. So Viral 6-1 after 6-1 after losing by what, 120, I think it was, something like that.
They got a 100-point cloaked, and then they almost beat these guys 6-0. It's the complete opposite. It's just insane.
All right, well, so worst behavior, clearly know where they need to get their work in, and then as we load into the precinct uplink, I think this is going to be an interesting one here because, you know, hardpoint is a lot of slaying, whereas S&D is a lot of strategy. Uplink is kind of somewhere in the middle. Slaying is important, but good setups and good strategies, good breaks, pushes through, can kind of steal you points, if that makes sense. You know, sometimes maybe you can, with one good push, you know, you can get 2 points and really bring it in there. I believe we're still waiting on one player, are we not?
Who are we missing here?
Not
Glock?
entirely sure who we're.
No.
No, Glock's in. It's a worst behavior player. Sure who we're missing. Whopper,
Viper?
Fancy, Viper. No, Viper's in. Let me see here. I believe, is it Metallifreak? Is he in?
That's who we're missing.
No, he's not. We're missing Metallifreak. All right, we'll get Metallifreak in, and then he'll be good to go. So for this precinct uplink, we talked about this a little bit the last time that we had an uplink, and one of the keys to this really is going to be top ticket and top construction. So we'll see who's able to hold that better. That is kind of one of the standards, I guess, if you will, for successful uplinks. And we lost Warrior. We'll get Warrior back in.
Come on, guys.
Well, I'm blaming Infinity Ward. We just got dropped with two updates in the middle of
Who does this on a Friday night? What company decides this is a
Infinity
great
Ward.
idea?
Infinity Ward does it.
I mean, on a Friday night.
So as we work on getting, let's see, Warrior back in the lobby, then we will see if is he having an issue here? Did he get kicked off?
I just re-invited him, so if he's listening, he can send me a message if there's a problem.
All right, so let's see here. Let's talk a little bit about what we've seen. Heavy Slain on the side of worst behavior, as well as, I mean, kind of, I would say Slain combined with good strategies for the side of Viral, taking out the 6-1 S&D. I mean, you know, especially when you lose by, what, 150? I think it was, something like that.
It was more than that.
You lose by 150. Everyone's pissed off at everyone. For those of you who haven't played competitively, I mean, there is nothing positive in your chat when you lose by 150. So, you know, it really shows a lot of composure from Viral to come back and kind of pull themselves together, refocus, and then not just win the S&D, but win it definitively. I mean, they basically, they lost that first round and then just won 6 straight.
Yeah, it was, yeah, that's how bad it was. And, you know, coming into this uplink, it's going to go one of two ways. Either worst behavior is just going to outslay them completely and their strategy's not going to matter, or their strategy's going to be poor and they're going to get outslayed by Viral. So it really depends. I mean, Viral got absolutely dominated in that hard point, but I can't knock them on their strategy. They still did what they were supposed to. They still had good routes. They still, you know, had good rotations. They simply got outslayed. So, you know, in my mind, unless you're, you know, like a pro and you're playing an optic every weekend, good strategy is going to beat good slaying, you know, in a best 2 out of 3 matchup. Definitely in a best 3 out of 5.
Yeah, so I guess that leaves us with picks here. What are we thinking? I want to hear who you're going to pick and why.
You know, I was in Worst Behavior's party before this started, and they seemed really pumped up. And, you know, when the hard point happened, that seemed to kind of carry over. But I don't know how their morale is now. I don't know if, you know, they really expected to lose 6-1, if they were really prepared for that. If they were, then, you know, their morale might still be high after this. But it's all going to depend on that. I just don't know. I don't know if their strategy is going to work right now, so I'm just going to have to go with Viral. Have you got a message from Warrior, by the way?
Apologize, but we are back.
Have you got a message from Warrior?
Yes, he said he needs an invite. Apologize for that. Controller batteries just died on me for a second, so...
Were they made by Infinity Ward?
They may have been made by Infinity Ward, so... yeah, he said he needs an invite.
Just got him
There
one.
he is.
There he is.
All right, he's back in. Let's go ahead and get this thing finished off here. Going into the rig draft for Uplink, I would not mind seeing a weapon used, but I doubt we're going to. So, again, reaction.
Hang on one sec. I see no FTLs. And if anybody looked at the competitive Reddit today, they will see a great FTL play that Clayster did where he threw the ball, FTL caught it himself, and dunked it. So if I... Oh,
it's nasty.
Here you go.
That we finally have an FTL.
Yep, he's channeling that.
Can
so
you
Glock,
FTL
I want to
with
see...
the drone?
No, you cannot, but you can pass it. You can throw it up in the air, FTL to where it's going to land, catch it. So I want to see a self-pass dunk. So Glock, you're on the board here for self-pass dunk.
All right, well, we'll see if that is, we'll see if he's able to pull that one off. That's one of those things that you try and do and you screw it up so many times it costs you. That's like the
Oh yeah.
people who used to try and do like the, what was it? You could pick up the flag and then try and glitch back to where you were originally and like gain 20 yards or whatever, but you'd always be facing the wrong way, so it never actually worked. We'll see if anyone's able to do that. I missed the tail end of your pick as my Infinity Ward batteries died on me, but I would like to know, who did you end up picking to win the
I,
series?
I picked Viral simply because I think their strategies might be superior in this uplink, and I don't know. I mean, it's a 50-50 pick really, because I mean, either their strategies are going to be great and they're going to outslay, so they're going to win, or they're going to get outslayed with good strategies like they did in the hard point and lose. So it's still Viral, but at least we know their strategies are probably going to be sound. Worst behavior, not expecting them to do bad. So I'm not expecting this to be a blowout, but we've had 2 blowouts in a row, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to say worst behavior to go against the grain, but I actually also think Viral. I think Viral's going to come out and close this one out, but we'll see. I want to hear from the chat. What do you guys think is going to happen? And I'm looking forward to this one. We're going to see a pretty good rubber match between these two teams.
I would
Let's
agree.
go ahead and take a look at the guns here as we move.
If your worst behavior, you're starting on the side, you know, behind construction. So you have 2 goals. 1, don't get spawn trapped. And 2, oh, here comes the teabag again. Don't get spawn trapped, and you need to make a lot of throws by ticket, because that goal is so open.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, especially if you got the preferred side, you got to make some things happen here. Metallifreak, or it looks like I'm on with Metallifreak now. Both teams running 3 K-bars as well as a NV4. I mean, you know, worst behavior there just went to pick up the drone too early. They kind of all flooded. One guy took the drone, they tried to push, and they didn't do their slaying first ahead of time. So, looks like no score for the side of Viral. They got a clean toss off, but
I'm
looks
not
like worst
sure
behavior
how he
was
threw that out of the map.
I'm not sure either. But I think, you know, one of the things that we saw initially there is Viral actually took their time and did some slaying. You know, this isn't like the old Black Ops 3 uplink where you can kind of just run and gun. You got to slay first, pick up the drone, and then push. So worst behavior now on the move. We're going to be...
This has got to be dunk. If this isn't a dunk, they're in trouble.
There we go. So Metallifreak moving should have... No! He falls! Great defense by Viral. Looks like Fancy Pump does end up. Fancy Pump ends up finished off, but Warrior almost saved the day there. Worst behavior takes the early 2-0 lead, and it looks like now we're going to have another fight for drone control over the middle here, and 2 down for Viral, but I'm on with Mortal now, who's in this back. He's going to see the drone carrier and should pick him off now. If he gets the second one, they may have a chance to push the drone up, and Mortal does fall, so no damage done there. El Malo now pushing the drone up through lobby. We're going to see if he decides to go through construction. He's going to run into a lot of worse behavior.
Himself, no.
It doesn't work. You got to take the drone back and get some help here. Now, as he falls, Fancy Pup is going to pick it up, wrapping it back towards their own base. He's going to hold it for a while and kind of let them do a little bit of slaying. But as they go down, you know, no real action here. Just kind of holding the drone. But
toasty.
you know, Fancy Pup holding this drone a little too close to their base for me to feel comfortable. He finally does throw it down, but as he falls, now Mortal throws it away. All right, well, Mortal throws it away, and the slaying continues in mid-map over drone control here.
Yeah, I think what's going to have to happen here is Whopper's got some nice shots right now. So if he's going to be your Slayer on this map, you need to push him out as far as you can. I know he keeps watching mid to prevent that drone from getting to his base, but they're going to have to do something
points
different.
for Viral here. This should be a toss. No, he's going for the dunk. He might have it.
Dunk.
There it is, 2-2. We are all tied up. Ran out of boosters there at the end, but was able to do it. That's the worst feeling when you're sitting under the goal waiting for your boosters to recharge. Mortal, if he got around the corner, may have had enough more points on the board, but looks like 3 go down for Viral. Worst behavior, they're going to be moving through top ticket. This is the way that you want to go. Well, there's multiple ways to go. This is the preferred way that I like. And then Viper taking down 1, isn't able to get the second. 3 now down for Viral. This should be points. This should be a dunk.
First
Worst behavior dunk comes in, and it is 4-2 Worst behavior now. So we are on with we're on with
God,
Warrior, who's
Whopper.
the only one left alive on the Viral team, trying to hold down as best they can. And I mean, Warrior doing everything he can. Drone is going down. Viper finally, Warrior hangs on long enough for his team to help out and respawn and get back in there, so they do actually stop the damage before anything comes in. But that, if not for Warrior there, that was going to be even more points for the side of worst behavior.
He's saved. I'm gonna give him a save for the first dunk. He's saved 2 dunks so far, so they could be in a lot worse shape.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, 14 and 9. Kind of a one-man army there. They do get the toss in. I didn't even see worst behavior sneaking back with the drone there. They've already got men waiting on the drone. I mean, Viral's got to get a little bit of drone control here. That's not going to keep working. They can't stay pushed back.
They can't get past
like
Whopper
that.
Mage. That's the problem.
Whopper Mage now 16 and 8. I mean, on an absolute tear, just tearing apart Viral Gaming.
Oh, he pulled
He
him.
finally goes down. Still only 5-2, even though looks like the Slain battle has been won so far by worst behavior. You know, interestingly with Viral, 2 guys that are just 10 and 10. See if they're able to move this up here. I'm on now with, this should be a
criticize
toss.
Whopper for a second. He pulled a reload.
Mortal, take the toss.
Whopper pulled a reload and reloaded too early.
Well, Mortal also had a toss and tried to go in for a dunk when there was 2 worst behavior guys right next to him. He needed to just take the 1 point there and then leave it as a 1-possession ball game. So with the final time ticking down now, I don't think there's going to be any kills, and I think, yep. So worst behavior is going to go in 5-2. Talk to me a little bit about what happened here.
Honestly, it could have been a lot worse here. 2 things. 1, worst behavior missed a couple dunks because Warrior saved it. But secondly, they had a couple times where they had a single man running the drone and he did not throw it forward. He just kind of ran around the corner with it and just got picked off. So, I mean, they could have been up, you know, 7-2, 9-2, something like that. And, I mean, I think what you're seeing here is it's a one-man team for worst behavior. And Whopper's just outslaying Viral right now. And Viral's not being able to contest the drone as a team. They kind of get this lemmings where they just file in one after the other to the drone. They just keep going down.
Yep.
I mean, they have positive players on their team, but it's just not working.
Malo just tried to basically bulldoze the drone through top ticket by himself, and that just doesn't work. And of course, he goes down. Now you see worst behavior here on the counter strike. They're going to be coming in through the back of the base, and they're going to have more points.
Possibly. Good play. Good play.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, 7-2 now. Worst behavior. Viral's going to have to do something fast because now you've got, you know, people going down in the base. They finally clear out their own base. El Malo kind of on the counter here. He's going to be moving. Oh, he's about to get a beat down. No, he doesn't. Almost with the collat kill, and Viral answers back, making it 4-7. So we are now going to switch over to Warrior, who's got the drone. Don't do
Warrior
it.
does not need to have
Don't
the
do
drone.
it by yourself.
He needs to give it to somebody else. Give it to somebody else.
Give it up. Give it up, Warrior. Good. He gives it to El Malo here, and they're going to be... We are on with Glocks now. Glocks picking up the triple and just destroying worst behavior, but no one able to really capitalize off it now. Mortal's going to be pushing up, not able to do a whole lot. Oof. No, run through Cherry Blossom.
Well,
as they push up center street now. Now it might work out. Gets 1 kill. They're 1 kill away from points here. They aren't able to get it, and he will fall. But some other Viral players there to kind of do the work. The crooked toss coming in from El Malo. That could have made it the 1-possession game they were looking for. We'll see here. Oh my gosh. So Warrior 23 and 14, really having a strong game, doing everything he can to kind of hold Viral up on his own. On the side of worst behavior though, Whopper Mage 23 and 18. So, you know, still very close game. 2.5 minutes of play to go. Still 2 possessions. Let's move on with... Yeah, Warrior needs help. Now, Glocks here... I don't know why he's passing the drone, but I'll say he had lead blockers. He looked like he wasn't in a bad spot there to try and get some... Of course, Metallifreak and his Type 2 just absolutely mow everyone down and stop the push from the side of Viral. Worst behavior now on the counter. This is going to be points for worst behavior if somebody doesn't step up and be the hero for Viral right now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be
And
points.
surprise, it's Mortal again.
Was it really?
Well, that was actually, I'm sorry, Warrior was the one who did it before. So Mortal becomes the hero now, stops the push, and throws it away, gets the drone out of their base.
Good play, good play.
You know, Viral, despite losing this, playing amazing defense if they could actually get it together and put some points
kill
on the board.
Apparently,
Team kill for
Warrior's
Viral.
doing too much.
So now, 2 down for the side of Viral. Viper pushing the drone up. Looks like could be points here. He's smart and gonna wait for his teammates. Somebody kill the man. Somebody kill the man. Oh my gosh. I mean, he just had 2 Viral guys shooting at him and missing, and worst behavior now takes the 8-4 lead because Viper, as we just said, you can't just sprint through someone's base and score points, does exactly that.
Viral needs to have a 4-man team push right now, and they're just falling. That's 4 down.
4 down for Viral. This is not good for Viral Gaming. Worst behavior now. Let's get on with Viper, who's got the drone. This is going to be a dunk, and that could have been the dagger for Viral Gaming. They've got to basically, they've got to get some kills, and they've got to get a spawn trap.
Well, they
Now,
have 3
Malo
down.
is
Warriors
gonna-
backing.
Malo has overdrive. We'll see. This should be a dunk if he can figure out how to get out the window. And misses the dunk. And finally gets it in and makes it. Went back and got it. Now, they do have kinetic. Warrior has his kinetic. Maybe they can... I mean, they've got to get quick points.
If he didn't go down right there.
Needs to get some help. Tosses it. Actually gets the 1-point toss, though it's not going to help them. I mean, because there's no 3-point play here. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Viral now playing some great. Actually, they were playing great there at the end. If they could have done that the whole game, they would have been golden.
They had almost a spawn trap going on worst behavior, but it didn't succeed.
And 3 seconds counting down. Worst behavior is going to have this one. So worst behavior takes down Viral 11-7 in the uplink. That was one of the better uplinks that we've casted in terms of just, you know, competitive all the way throughout. But, you know, Viral really showed some great... They really played well at the end. Unfortunately, they weren't able to play like that the rest of the game. And so despite Warrior going 31-20, you know, Warrior drops a 30 bomb, and they aren't able to pull that one out. I mean, I gotta say that, you know, worst behavior just did a better job. They did a better job of not just pushing the drone up, but slaying while pushing the drone up. You know, they did have a few people early who tried to take the drone and sprint out of the base with it, but you know, I think they just played as a team better, which is the exact opposite of what we see with them for S&D.
Yeah, I mean, I think if worst behavior is going to be this team that's going to slay like this, what the other opposite teams are going to have to do is kind of what happened in the S&D. You're going to have to play it real slow and get your picks, and that's the reason that Viral won 6-1. They were waiting back, they were picking off that first man, and that's what you're going to have to do in hardpoint. That's what you're going to have to do, especially in uplink. You know, if you wait back and you get the first pick and then the second pick, all of a sudden you're 4v2 and you get the other guys down, you know, you've got a great push going on. You're only going to run into, you know, 1 or 2 guys in their spawn because they're going to have to stagger time spawns. And I think what happened at the end was not exactly playing slow, but they ended up getting these picks that they needed. But if they just started playing a little bit slower at the beginning of that uplink, I think that would have been a totally different outcome for Viral.
Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, I agree. I think that Viral definitely could have won that if they'd played a little bit smarter in the beginning there, but... you know, let's give all the credit where it's due to worst behavior, just coming out and taking down kind of some of the best you know, teams in our league here. And I guess what that leaves for us now is to determine our OC Gaming MVP. Now, I wanted to give it to Fancy Pup because of a very strong hardpoint performance, but then no one on worst behavior really did well on the S&D, and then you have Whopper and Metallifreak kind of leading the uplink. Really a team effort. Who are you going to give it to?
I mean, oof. I guess I'm gonna have to give it to Fancy Pup because of the domination in the hard point. Like you said, S&D, there was no MVP on the team, and you know, in Uplink they had it kind of went streaks. You know, Whopper Mage started off good in the first round. Fancy Pup started off great in the second round. So I think overall Fancy Pup had the best 3 game series.
All right, I'll defer to you. Yeah, I don't know that I really want to pick any. I mean, not that any of them, not that they all did bad, but really no one stood out terribly. It was kind of a team effort.
It
But
was
I
a tough one.
will,
Yeah,
I'll
they had
defer.
they had they had great team kills, team killing, in hard point and uplink. So I mean, overall, great as a team. I'm gonna give it to Fancy Pup for his work in the hard point and his work in the uplink. Um, I mean, GG's. I think this was a great match. I mean, you had a blowout in the first game, blowout in the second game. Overall, 7-11 is pretty close in uplink. Maybe another minute on the board, and Viral could have put up some more points, possibly. But that was a good uplink. I was happy that we finally got a great uplink that wasn't too one-sided. So I mean, I think where where these two teams kind of stand. Viral's still great in my opinion, and they have great strategies and they slay well, even though they got outslayed today. I think teams are just going to have to learn how to play worse behavior, and that's going to be a slow and steady pace because obviously worse behavior is here
It's
to kill.
gonna be worst behavior is gonna be take your win on S&D and then pray for one of the other two
Yeah, if you take a
to give
respawn
you
from
the
worse
win.
behavior, you might be in good shape.
All right, well.